Alright, so let's see. Alright, so this is just a really quick video to show you how to find really cheap flights on Google Flights. The first thing you're going to do is go to the new beta. The new beta works a lot better. It's much quicker at finding good deals. What you're going to do is you're always going to choose one way. Round trip generally is going to be more expensive. Every once in a while it will be cheaper to a single destination. Multi-city is always way more expensive, and it doesn't work as well, and I'll show you why. So what you want to do is you want to find tickets on an individual basis. So find the route, define your route first, and then find tickets for it. And when I say define your route, I mean like generally, and here's what I mean. So never specify dates. That's the biggest thing. Go flexible, and then once you've seen all the tickets, then you can kind of decide which route is the cheapest. So let's say you want to go to Europe, right? So once you're in London, you can get to any place for about $20 to $50. Sometimes less than that, sometimes a little more than that. But if you look at London, you'll see it's around 280 bucks. Yep. All right. So how is it? Is it cheaper to go to Berlin or Copenhagen today? Yes. Now some of these are well outside of the next month. So what I like to do is I like to just go ahead and put it at usually the next month. So we're at the 20th, 21st, I think, of March. So go ahead and tap April. You want about a month away, and you'll still be able to get those really cheap tickets. And as you can see here, London got cheaper. You were able to define it in a smaller realm of time, and for some reason, it decided that it found a cheaper ticket. So you got to keep that in mind. Now, Reykjavik is $100 no matter what, pretty much. Whenever you go, you'll always find a $100 ticket somewhere. And so Reykjavik is very, 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 very reliable. A very reliable way to jump into. Now, you see, this is the funny thing. You'll see the tickets start going up when you go farther away in time. And so, really, and if you go to March, you'll find that they're really expensive. They're about double. So, what you want to do is you want to go about 1 month away. And so, if you're at the end of May, you'll want to search, probably, if you're at the end of, March, you'll probably want to search in May. If you're in the middle, you can search in next month over. Here you've got the cheapest tickets to many different places, including London. It's only 50 extra bucks to get to London. The reason for that is a ticket to Reykjavik is only 100 bucks. A ticket from Reykjavik to London is only 38. So technically a ticket from there to London would be straight to London is, well, technically it goes through Reykjavik. Pretty much all flights to anywhere in Europe that are really cheap are through Reykjavik, and I'll show you why. Let's just select London. We'll go ahead and open it up, and as you can see, it stops in key EF, which is Iceland. Icelandic Air, key EF is Iceland. Layover in Reykjavik. So, if it has a layover in Reykjavik, why not take that to your advantage and go ahead and book a flight to Reykjavik and stay a few nights in Reykjavik. So let's go ahead and book a flight to Reykjavik. You go into here and you check the dates. Alright, look at that. The earliest I can actually go is April 16th. Let's go ahead and head up April 16th. April 16th, I find this is another really insightful place, dates. It'll show you a cheaper date within that week. You can also choose the price graph. Price graph is great, an easy visual way of finding a good ticket. Airports, this will show you, hey, by the way, if you go just over to this other airport, it might be cheaper, which in this case it's not. But just to show you, and show you the driving directions there. So how far is it away? extremely helpful because you don't actually have to map it out. You can just literally hover over it and it will show you, hey, that's 4 hours away, so you'd have to get a rental car for it'd be a 4-hour trip. These tips here, generally I've not found it to be any use so far. Alright, so of course all these 4 things are, you tap any of these and go between them. Now we've found a cheap ticket, right? So we're gonna go ahead and select that flight. Here you can see some basic information. You can see that basically all you can do is carry on a personal item such as a laptop, a bag, or something, anything that can fit under the seat. And you can put it overhead, but the idea is it needs to be small enough to fit underneath the seat. It needs to be not seen as a carry-on, so something that can go on top on your back, and it can fit underneath the seat. So then you click here, and you can start tracking the prices. Now, once you start tracking the prices, you can go ahead and view all, and you can see here Baltimore to Reykjavik, $100, April 16th. And I've got a bunch more underneath here. But the idea is here that we're going to create a trip into Europe cheaper than taking a one-way into London, let's say. So now, go ahead and switch those and type in London. Because now you know basically the place that you want to go, and it has to be after April 16th, right? So here you can see a $34 here. Well, that's 2 weeks away, and I'm not sure if I want to spend 2 weeks in Iceland. Haha, of course you're going to want to spend 2 weeks in Iceland. But see how you can get a cheaper ticket? Now, usually you can actually get a cheaper ticket the same day, and here, I'll show you how. So basically what you do is you take out London, and you click the enter key, and then now, look at this. Let's go ahead and search instead of flexible dates, let's do specific dates. And let's do 1 week away. So I'm gonna find the 23rd. Alright, it's 59 to London. Go ahead and zoom in one more. And here you can see all the different places. So London is by far the cheapest here. Let's go ahead and try April 24th. And this is the way you do it if you want to find a cheap flight anywhere into Europe. And maybe your goal is to get to Zurich and you really don't care about London. So let's go ahead and zoom in here a little bit. $83 to Basel. So basically you'd spend $51 to get to London, and then you'd spend another $17 to get to Basel. And I betcha if I click Basel, it'll go through London. So if you look here, this one is non-stop. So there you go, 83 bucks. 83, minus 51 that same day. 83 minus 51 leaves you $32. So let's go ahead and check and see if you could fly into London for 51, which is not even the cheapest. So let's go ahead and do flexible dates. And actually, let's do a specific date, and we'll leave it at that. And then we're gonna go into London and view flights. Let's go over here and do the price graph, and let's find a day that's cheaper. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and do that $36 one, $34 one. And there we go. Now we got $34. That's 2 weeks away, right? So you came in on the 16th, and then you fly out just shy of 2 weeks. And that's plenty of time, let's say. The cool thing about most people do not have enough time for 1 to 2 week travel. They only have a few days, and so that is why you get the cheaper tickets. Now I could have put that $100 ticket to Reykjavik on the 23rd. There was $100 available there as well. So just keep that in mind. You can tighten it up if you want to. So $30 from Reykjavik to London. Let's go ahead and tick that on. Now from London, this is where it gets really crazy. London to anywhere else in April. Look at this. Just incredibly cheap. Anywhere you want to go, pretty much. Go to Nice, France for $19. Go to Berlin for 19. Go to Rome for 50. Malta for 36. 26, 29. Crazy. And some of these that are not showing $15. 62, I guess, but I bet if you were to go to some of these other ones, $15 to Classo. So it doesn't show us all of the really cheap ones. Go to Ireland for 22 bucks. Go to Spain for 19 or 29. In fact, you can actually go to Morocco for 58. Or one of these other ones for 29 or 31. I don't even know what. I guess those are islands, some sort. Never even looked at them. And then let's go ahead and check the Middle East. Yeah, only 150 bucks to Dubai, $157 to Dubai. So in other words, oh, and $26 to Romania. These other ones, 45 bucks. Look at that town. Holy freak. Oh, that's gorgeous. Okay, let's go into Austria. Austria is usually a pretty expensive country to get into. Look at that. 15 bucks compared to 177. And the 15-buck one, sure, it's not as great of a town, but you still got mountains. Here's, oh, look at this. 15 bucks. Oh, that's great. So that's how you find the cheap tickets. So let's go to Basel, Switzerland, because nobody has any issue with Switzerland. Switzerland's an awesome place. So let's go ahead and book that flight for 15 bucks. That flight is on April 11th. Up. I flew out the 16th, then to the 29th, so I would have to fly out on the 30th. So that'd be one day, different, one day spent in London. And we're going to select that flight. Go ahead and turn on the... And whenever you get ready to actually go pay for the flight, you go to select, and it will take you to that website. Find the exact ticket. Look at that, $13.85. It's actually cheaper. Yeah, it's just crazy. So what it's doing is it's taking a million different flights and it's putting all in one. Alright, now let's go from Basel to anywhere else. Not on the 30th, sometime in April, yes. And actually, we're going to do it sometime in May because we're at the end of April. So now you can see that it's not quite as cheap places because it's a small town, but you can still get some pretty cheap flights. So back to London is only $17, and that may be the way you want to go. You may want to go somewhere else because by the time you get to London and then get to another place, it may actually be just as cheap to fly to that other place. So let's try one of the cheapest here. $36 somewhere in France. Let's go up to Denmark and see what Copenhagen or... No, those are pretty expensive. What about Norway? Norway's probably expensive too. Just checking. Yeah, pretty expensive. Some of these smaller ones may be cheap, so you check them. No, that one's expensive. Okay, so basically the cheap ones is Germany. So crazy. It's only like a 4-hour drive there, and it's huge difference in price. Well, let's try, I don't know. Let's go to Berlin. Or Warsaw. Where's Warsaw, Poland? Warsaw, there we go, Warsaw, Poland. Only 26 bucks. That's always a cheap place. Warsaw is one of the cheapest places to go. And Warsaw, Poland is definitely no shabby place. So let's go ahead and do, tick that on. Okay, now this says May 1. May 1 is only like 2 days after. So let's see if there's another cheap day. It doesn't look like there's too many cheap days. I guess the next cheapest place, next cheapest time is the the 15th. That'd be 2 weeks in Switzerland. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. And the cool thing about this is that it tracks the price. So technically, you probably will get the same $26 when 2 weeks from now has happened. So whenever you find a cheap whenever you find a cheap ticket, basically mark on your calendar the amount of time difference between the two times that you're looking at. So let's say here, I wanted to get it for $26, right? So right now it's $26. If I want to get it for 26, if I want to get the 15th for $26, or if I want to get it for $19, all I have to do is take the amount of time difference between today's date and the first available really cheap price. So let's see, that's exactly 1, 2, 3 weeks and 1 day. So basically set on your calendar 3 weeks and you basically want to be looking 3 weeks and 1 day away. So if you really want to get out on the let's say you actually do want to get out on the 15th, but you want it for $19. So then what you do is you go 3 weeks, 1, 2, 3, and 1 day. So on the 23rd, you're going to be wanting to look for tickets between the 19th and the 24th. Sometime in that point, that should be a $19 ticket. And the reason why I know that is because I've been doing this a million times, like over and over and over and over and over again at different times of the year. And it's always 3 weeks to 4 weeks away will get you the cheapest tickets, because nobody flies a month in advance. Everybody flies either 2-3 months in advance or right now. So anything a month in advance, 3 weeks in advance, a month in advance, somewhere in that range, find cheap tickets anywhere. So let's go ahead and choose that 15th. It is $31. And then let's go from Wrocław, Poland, somewhere else after May 15th. So sometime in May, we can go to the Netherlands, or we could go to Italy. Italy, everybody loves Italy. Well, let's go to Italy. Alright, let's see what Italy is. May 23. I believe that's actually just about right. Oh, May. Never mind. May. Yeah, May 23, because I think I flew out to Wrocław on the 15th. So May 23 is the $21. Take that on, man. Can't beat that price. Okay, now let's go from there to somewhere else. So May 23, probably gonna want to be starting to look at June. You see how this works. So now let's get back because that's far enough out that we could do maybe 2 more stops or so. And as you can see, only $10 to another place in Italy. Like, I mean, that's just ridiculous. Only $25 back up to Berlin, or $32 to Copenhagen, or $25 to Paris. I mean, okay. So Italy, once you get to Italy, it's cheaper to get to some of these other places. London is pretty much the cheapest place to get anywhere, but it is always cheaper once you get in Europe to fly directly to your flights. It's never cheaper because the prices are so cheap. If you wait just an extra 2 days or something, you'll find a price that is cheaper than going from wherever you are in Europe to London and then back to wherever you want to go. So once you're in Europe, flying directly between the place that you are and the destination is always cheaper. So let's go back. I don't know. Let's just go back. So let's go ahead and view these flights in June, and it looks like the cheapest in June is going to be way off in advance. So in that case, let's go ahead and check and find a cheaper place. So let's go to maybe let's try getting to Paris. Let's see where in Paris is. Paris's price graph. yeah, we could actually go out. Now, when was the last ticket that we did? We made May 23, I believe. So June, yeah, June 3. That's 25 bucks. So perfect. So let's go. Let's go there, and then we get an extra stop, an extra 25 bucks. Not a big deal. But then we get to see another country. Okay, that's on June 3, and let's go back to the. Let's go from Paris to someplace. Now it looks like that is going to be 41 bucks to London. So that's not all that cheap. But how much is it to Reykjavik? 141. So basically what you're doing is you're adding those two tickets together to get back. And so you can skip the whole problem of booking two tickets and you just go straight to Reykjavik. And once you're in Reykjavik, get $100 back. Look at that. Cool thing about that is you can get up in Norway for only 67 bucks, which is not usual. So let's go ahead and get to Norway. Well, you know, this place looks better. That's June 29th, and I really want to go out like the 8th. Alright. We spent a week there. You know, select a flight. Go ahead and turn it on. Now we're in Norway. And now from Norway we can get anywhere from pretty cheap up in the top up here in Finland and stuff, Stockholm and whatever. You get back up to some of these other places. Faroe Islands only 153 bucks. And see, that's how you get to see the Faroe Islands. Faroe Islands are usually pretty expensive to get to, but if you want to get there cheap, fly to either Norway or London or something like that, you can usually find a ticket for around that price. And look at that, only $79 back to Reykjavik. So we found a real good deal. So let's go ahead and find. Let's go ahead and go to. Let's go ahead and do the price graph. I forget when the last time. I think it was on June 3rd. No. I think we actually. Here, hold on. Let me see. Let's go and do Google Flight. Yeah. And then let's go into track prices. And when was it that we went from there? June 8th. Paris to June 8th. Okay. So we could fly out like June 18th. 86 bucks. We might actually be able to do it on that day, but we'd have no time in Norway, and of course you want time in Norway. So, and 20th is a little bit far away. Well, that's of July, of course. That's too far away. Okay, so let's do the 86 bucks. 86 bucks is still cheap. And let's get there. All right. So now we're going on June 18th. So now we go from Reykjavik back to WI. And let's find some time after that point. As you can see here, that's the cheap parts there. So in order to find just as cheap of a ticket, it's just unfortunate. It's not. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to wait. Those because see it's really cheap, even in April. See, we're looking too far in advance, and so what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to wait until we can get that cheap price. But it should change that cheap price, and we could get one for $100, I bet. All right, so that's how you do it. And then once you're there, you can just go to here and check out all your flights that you've done. That's how you find cheap flights. Cheap flights on Google Flights. And once you're here and you've booked up a bunch of stuff, you can go ahead and just go to each different website and book it, and you can get going. So let's check out a couple of these real quick. Let's do Basel to Warsaw. Warsaw, Poland. Keep saying Warsaw. Warsaw. So here is takes you to the website. Wiz imports all the stuff. Takes you straight over to no, let's not do that. And then there you go, $23. And so this includes hand luggage, 20 kg checked-in bag. Wow. One small onboard bag of free seat selection, excluding the front row, and extra legroom seats, and then priority boarding and online check 30 days before departure. That's for $64, or you can just do a hand luggage and check 2 days before for 23. Usually that's the way to go, but 64 bucks is not expensive. And you can take a nice carry-on, which would actually 20 kg checked-in bag. So that's great. Over here 32. So if you're really having to fly between two different places and you really need to carry camera gear that you bought in Europe or extra food or something, no problem. It's only about double the price, which is not that expensive. That's how you do it.